Yep, sound's coming through. Alrighty, we're going to go get started. See if I make sure I have everything up here and ready to go. Alrighty, thanks for joining. My name is Kevin Gilmore with the National Weather Service New Orleans Baton Rouge office located in Slidell, Louisiana. We're going to do a quick update on the tropics. It feels like we were just doing this yesterday with last year's tropical storms and hurricanes. It seems like it just doesn't want to stop sometimes, and it looks like we got ourselves another potential tropical disturbance that we're going to be monitoring in the southwest Gulf. We're going to talk about everything that you need to know if you live along the northern Gulf Coast, impacts that could be expected coming up this Father's Day weekend across the area. Heavy rain, higher than normal tides, maybe some coastal flooding issues, everything that would just kind of call for not the best weekend ever, unfortunately. But we're going to go through each one of those specifically, talk about, again, specific impacts, maybe even look beyond this time frame, going through parts of next week to see if maybe there is some type of maybe a turn in dry weather coming here, coming up soon. So first, I'm going to go ahead and, as we always start with these Facebook Live updates, I like to kind of talk about what's going on right outside the window right now. So first, I'm going to show you a local radar imagery right now, and you think it looks quiet actually, but hopefully it's not picking up the noise because it is actually raining here at the office located in Slidell, and I'm going to zoom in and show you that. For folks watching from Slidell, there's a little bit of a shower coming in from the northeast out of from Pearl River coming through here, and it just got loud here just for a quick second, but it looks like as soon as it starts, it stops. So they're just very fast-moving hit or miss showers. They're popping up across St. Tammany Parish, riding along what's called an outflow boundary from earlier storms further out to the east. As we zoom back out, really not much more going on. We know we had some reports of hail, actually, from strong thunderstorms near Baton Rouge. Also getting down towards Donaldsonville as well, Ascension and Assumption Parish. We had a severe thunderstorm roll through there earlier. But this leftover convection, all this leftover thunderstorm activity should start to kind of deteriorate as we go a little bit later into the evening. So we're not really anticipating any type of widespread heavy rain issues tonight. It's going to be this upcoming weekend is what we're going to be focusing on a lot here. So we're going to go ahead and jump straight into that first with what we got latest from the National Hurricane Center. Let's see if I can go back there. Jumped a little bit ahead. There we go. This is the latest 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time update from the National Hurricane Center. What they are doing and what we are doing as well is we are watching a tropical disturbance located in the Bay of Campeche. The Bay of Campeche is that southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico where you see that red coloring or that red X. This is just a tropical disturbance, and you see that zone heading up towards the north. This system has the potential to slowly organize and continue up towards the north, towards either the northern or northwestern Gulf of Mexico, potentially impacting portions of Louisiana. So what we're talking about right now is this is an update from the latest from the recent update we have from the National Hurricane Center. It's gone up from 40% now to 50% chance of development here in the next 48 hours to even a high potential for the next 5 days. That's a 70% or a 7 out of 10 chance. And we're going to talk about the individual specifics. What kind of storm will this be, and things like that. This is going to be our number one impact. Before we even get into strength or anything like that, we want to talk about probably the number one impact we may see from the system. And that's going to be forecast. This is going to be rainfall. Widespread rainfall is going to be very likely beginning as early as Friday, going through the day on Saturday, and unfortunately going in towards Father's Day on Sunday as well. This is a generalized, so when we show this graphic, this is a generalized average max rainfall, what we're expecting. The thing here is that with these tropical systems, if it comes a little bit more towards our west, which current guidance is showing that's going to place us on the eastern side of the tropical system, and that sometimes we can get these bands of heavier rainfall, and we can see a lot heavier rainfall than what we're seeing right there. That's why we're saying there could be the potential for locally heavier amounts. So 4 to 6 Baton Rouge, you may have locally higher amounts than that. Even 6 to 8 for New Orleans, you may have locally higher than that. Just be aware that this is a forecast total rainfall. This is not going to fall at one moment. This is all the way from Friday going through early Tuesday. So this takes the entire weekend rainfall total into account. The problem is that there may be some episodes or periods within this weekend where we may see even heavier rainfall. And we're going to talk about that more specifically here. Hopefully this is a graphic I wanted to kind of portray as the kind of the intensity or the time frame of where we may be seeing some of the more intense rainfall. This is the probability of seeing greater than 1 inch of rain in 24 hours. And that 24-hour range is going to be between 7 p.m. Friday and 7 p.m. Saturday. So late Friday all through the day on Saturday, the chance of seeing 1 inch of rain. See, that's about a 5 out of 10 chance for New Orleans, 4 out of 10 for Baton Rouge, getting towards a 6 out of 10 chance down towards Houma. And that's a little bit alarming. That's some pretty high probabilities for such a widespread coverage of areas. And then even if we start talking about 2 inches of rainfall, now typically you're going to get a little bit lower probabilities, but those are relatively high. And something a little bit alarming for us that we need to really focus on. That's a 2 out of 10, getting close to 3 out of 10 for Baton Rouge, getting close to a 4 out of 10 for New Orleans. Again, that's a probability of greater than 2 inches of rain in 24 hours. And that's going to be that time frame we're going to talk about a little bit more specifically here in just one quick moment. I'm going to go ahead and jump over real quick to show you what I'm actually specifically talking about by showing you a tool that we use as meteorologists to forecast the weather. We have computer models that do that for us because the flow and dynamics of the atmosphere is extremely complicated. There's full of mathematical equations that even we can't comprehend and we can't actually do in our head. So we let these computer models do it for us. So what this model here, this is the Global Forecasting System, or the GFS model, that is predicting what's going to happen into the future. And as we go up towards, we see we're going to go up towards time. We're going to see a lot of things change. We see that activity down in the Southwest Caribbean, or excuse me, Southwest Gulf of Mexico. Let me actually show you that real quick with the satellite image. I meant to show you this first. Where is the system actually right now before we start talking about ahead of time? It's kind of hard to see here, but you can see the Gulf of Mexico is in the center. So if you're from Louisiana or Mississippi, you're going to be on that top part of this imagery that's looping in front of you, where you see those colder cloud tops from thunderstorms we had earlier today. So Alabama Gulf Coast, Florida Gulf Coast, you're all the top part of this. On the bottom part of this image is going to be, you see those brighter colors there. Those are colder cloud tops, indicative of more widespread thunderstorm development near that low pressure center that we're watching in the southwestern Gulf. So that's where we're at in the vicinity. It's way to our south. What we're going to be seeing is the system's going to slowly organize, especially maybe getting to Thursday, and start drifting north. So now that we have that set as a baseline, as we continue up a little bit further, the system does want to come up towards our area. And when it does, we start to see some of those brighter colors. That's heavy rain that you're seeing there. Coming up towards our area, this is late in the day on Friday. And then zooming in a little bit closer there to show you what we could be seeing is one initial heavy rain band that comes through our area as early as during the day on Friday. And we could be seeing some very extensively heavy rain with that, and it continues up towards the north. Again, we may be on the eastern side of the system when it potentially makes landfall somewhere around the Texas or Louisiana coastline, possibly to our west. However, we don't want to get specifics. Don't look at that exact center where the storm is. If it's going to be anywhere to our west, we're going to have that southerly flow. That's going to cause coastal flooding conditions. That's going to cause flash flooding issues as well. And then maybe potentially, depending exactly where the center ends up, we may have some isolated tornado issues as well. But we're going to get in more fine details with that coming up as we get for later updates in the forecast. But right now we want to talk about the potential for widespread heavy rainfall beginning on Friday, lasting into the day on Saturday. This is Saturday here, going up even through Sunday. We may be continuing to have these rain bands or feeder bands continue to feed up our area, and then possibly even going beyond that. So that's why we're talking about this could be a long duration heavy rain event. So let me go back here and show you again what we're talking about, going back with the QPF like I just showed you before. That's why if that system's a little bit more towards our west, a little bit towards our west, and we're on the east side of the system, we're going to get that southerly flow and get that fetch of heavy rainfall. That's why we want you to be aware. There may be watches coming up, flash flood watches, maybe even some coastal flood watches, something like that, for this enhanced southerly flow. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about that here coming up, but we want to actually mention probably the #1 threat right now for this system is definitely going to be the heavier rainfall. Now, people are wondering, what is this going to be? Is this going to be a tropical depression, tropical storm, or hurricane? Well, it's tough to say this early. Even the National Hurricane Center is just mentioning right now the potential for slow and steady development. What becomes of that, we're not 100% sure yet. But based out of some of the numerical model guidance that we've been seeing, chances are the system may become a tropical depression and then could actually become a tropical storm before impacting somewhere around the northwestern Gulf. Now, for that to happen, they have to find a closed circulation and see that it has winds either by reconnaissance aircraft or by any type of data collection or observations nearby of around 39 mile per hour winds in a closed circulation. If so, that's going to become a tropical storm. And if it does become a tropical storm, it will be named Claudette, because we just had Bill that formed out in the Atlantic, in the Atlantic Ocean. So will it be a hurricane or not? It's hard to say this early on. Chances are it will probably be more likely a depression or a storm coming up towards the northern Gulf. But again, it's a little bit too early to say right now. We just wanted to kind of get that out there for right now. And even if it's not a hurricane, let's say it just doesn't become a hurricane, tropical storms can still be very dangerous. We just mentioned the threat for heavy rainfall. That could lead to deadly flash flooding issues. We have flash flooding potential with this system. So please don't take this lightly if it's not a hurricane. This can still be a very serious system. So with the start of hurricane season that just started 15 days ago, hopefully you have your emergency supply kit ready to go. If not, now's the time to just double check and make sure that you have these items. Should there be some periods of higher wind, maybe some power outages or anything like that. Again, it's a little bit early, but the fact that it is early is a good reason that you should be preparing ahead of time. Always have a plan. Consider, I like showing this one a lot because the first point on here is consider people of different ages and your family members. Either ages of family members as well. So remember that if you have someone who may not have access to get the local forecast like you do here on social media or through our website, give them a call. Let them know there's a tropical system on the way that's going to be impacting the area this upcoming weekend. Think about dietary need, medical needs, even pets as well. That's usually a big concern too. And I showed this a lot last year with every almost seemed like repetitive tropical system that we had last year. This is a very good checklist because I think it really has almost pretty much everything here that you need to consider if we have a tropical system on the way. So beyond this, now we're talking about, we just discussed that the widespread rain and thunderstorms will be arriving on Friday, lasting through Saturday. How long after that? Well, it will possibly be likely continuing through Sunday, and we hate to say it, I didn't show this with the model guidance, but it could be lasting into Monday of next week as well, as we have a cold front approaching us from the northwest. That may add for another enhanced coverage of spotty afternoon showers and storms. So I hate to say it, although the bulk of the flash flooding and heavy rainfall potential will be this weekend, we may continue to see an enhanced risk of showers and storms going up through Monday and even Tuesday beyond 7 days. So you see here with the 7-day forecast, that's New Orleans to the top left, Baton Rouge to the bottom right, Gulfport again top left, same deal. Now you see there, that's where we're talking about how key preparations are key ahead of time. Wednesday's not that bad of a day. We may have some spotty showers and storms tomorrow, but it won't be as widespread of coverage. Thursday, not that bad of a day. It's going to be Friday, so make sure you have those preparations, and please pay attention to official sources for the latest updates in case we're going to be issuing watches ahead of time, or if the system is strengthening ahead of time as well. So going back here, just to kind of sum up what we just talked about, we're still going to be watching. This is a tropical disturbance. This is not a depression or a named storm, but has the potential to become a tropical depression or become a named storm here in the next few days. The most important thing here is that you need to be monitoring if you live anywhere along the northern Gulf Coast. If you have friends or family members that live along the northern Gulf Coast, you should be watching the system very carefully and possibly may need to be planning accordingly based out of the watches that we may be putting out here, possibly coming up here later this week. So we're going to go back here, and again, we basically hit all the bullet points there. I did want to mention one thing that I meant to kind of cover on a little bit more here towards the end, is that talk about with the system that may be going a little bit towards our west, or more likely to be towards our west, we'll be having that enhanced southerly flow. And with that enhanced southerly flow, that sometimes likes to push water up against the coastline and into areas across tidal lakes and sounds. We may have some coastal flooding issues, so if you live or know someone who lives in areas that typically sees flooding from higher than normal tides along the coastal areas of southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi, be aware that we may have some minor coastal flooding inundation issues. What we're talking about right now, what we're messaging is around 2 to 3 feet with pockets of 4 feet possible for some of these areas. So be aware that we may have some coastal flooding inundation issues. Depending on the track of the system, we'll have to watch for the potential for isolated tornadoes. But above all, is going to be heavy rainfall leading to flash flooding potential. That's going to be the number 1 concern that we're going to have. So be aware we may be putting up some watches as we get a little bit closer, especially getting closer to this weekend. So I know with Father's Day weekend coming up, we hate that this is coming up, but it seems like it's just never times right with these tropical systems. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. So we want to be here to message this the best we can, to give you a heads up. We're talking days in advance here, that maybe you to make sure that you have a plan, and to be very much aware that there could be changing conditions coming up this weekend, and to pay attention to official sources as we get closer as well. So we'll end it there. Appreciate everyone paying attention and joining us here. We'll likely do another update, either, if not during the day tomorrow, probably around the same time tomorrow evening. And we'll continue to keep you updated with the latest forecast when it comes across. So again, thanks for joining, and take care. Thanks.